Hey, what's up guys? Coach Peters here. Today I want to talk to you about the inverted row. Now this is another one of our core exercises we use here at BC Strength. Particularly, this is our core exercise when it comes to the upper body pulling, primarily in the horizontal plane. All right, so this is one of our major lifts that we like to use here. So when it comes to our setup, first and foremost, we got to set the barbell up, right? Inverted row isn't a typical exercise a lot of gyms are set up for. So you want to get in a power rack, set the power rack up for bench press, and then pull the bench out, right? So you're going to have the bar at about bench press height, anywhere from 24 to 36 inches off the ground. And you're going to then lay under the barbell, right? So it's essentially like an inverted or opposite bench press. We're laying under the bar now, pulling our chest up to the bar, right? So we're laying under it. We're gonna get our grip with our hands slightly wider than your shoulders in a good neutral, comfortable position with your palms facing away from you, right? The stance, once we get our grip in the right spot, we're under the bar, we set our feet about shoulder width. Now there's two ways that I teach this. Our gold standard, number one, we're gonna get our knees long and locked. So we create a long moment arm from our feet all the way up to our shoulders where force is being applied to lift our body. We can lengthen that, right? Like lengthening the sledgehammer, holding the sledgehammer farther away from the weight, or we can shorten that lever by bending our knees and bringing our feet back flat on the ground underneath our knees. So up to you and where you're at with that progression. Once we get our feet locked in, then we want to drive our hips up and create a straight line from our head to our heel, if our knees are locked, or a straight line from our head to our knees. And then that's our setup, right? Then we're ready to go. Once we're in that position, once we start pulling, obviously we want to keep our elbows to our sides. We don't want to pull up real wide and get our elbows high. We want to keep our hips very high as well. We get a lot of people, if we're struggling here, we kind of get a little bit of a worm going. So again, straight line from your head to your heel. And we're pulling to get our chest to touch the bar. We want to get all the way up till we touch before we go back down. To finish, we're going to lower it in control. I don't want to say lowering it slow, but we don't have to lower it slow. We just want to be in control as we lower. And finally, we want to get all the way down, elbows long locked, finishing in the start position. Now, the inverted row is not an easy exercise. It's a lot harder than most people think when you start looking at it. So a number of our progressions and regressions from the actual inverted row in and of itself, we can start with a banded row. So standing, just pulling, and that's going to force you to, number one, stabilize your own body. Then we can get into a machine for a seated cable row. Then an incline row, whether we get up on rings or we can put the bar up higher in a rack. Bent knee inverted row, a true inverted row with knees long and locked. We can also then progress to a feet elevated inverted row where our feet are raised up off the ground. And then finally we can add resistance to it, whether a band across our chest or maybe a chain across your chest. So these are our general progressions within it as well.